Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have a story time for you guys. I have a little bit of an update life. I don't even know what to title this video. I don't know what I'm gonna title it. But I just wanted to jump in my car and just really let the last piece of everything just kind of be said and yeah, close that chapter of my life. So if you guys are new to my channel, hi, my name is Blanca Yvette and I do post lifestyle vlogs, story times, just day-to-day life here on my channel. So also before I start this video, let's peep the new merch. So I have some new Estelle merch dropping on Thursday and it is going to drop at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is the new color to the collection. This is called Agave. It is the agave tone and it is a tone on tone like bluish green color. I'm going to be adding all of the states that were in my previous launch for this launch, as well as a restock of the gray and orange tone. So I'm super excited. And I'm obsessed with this color. Like, this color is literally everything. So for today's video, before I jump in, I wanted to just kind of come on here and chat with you guys. I feel like the most requested and question I get on a daily basis is always, am I ever going to talk about the real reason why we moved to LA? And although you guys kind of know what happened, sorry if I play with my hair. Honestly, it's just such a habit. Like, I get anxiety when I'm talking and stuff, and I feel like I need to be doing something in order to distract myself. But let me put my little pieces of hair back so that way I'm not wanting to touch my hair, because that's just how I do that. You guys have probably noticed a lot of stuff that I do when I'm anxious and stuff, but that's just one of the things that really just get me through making conversations and stuff. But anyways, I know that I did mention to you guys kind of lightly what happened and why we decided to move. I decided to just do this video today because my previous video that I shared with you guys was all about anxiety and how I've been feeling and how I'm trying to help myself grow as a person. And I feel like I rather just not get asked anymore this question about why this happened, and hopefully now people will understand the reason why we decided to move and kind of just leave this behind. I told you guys, I'm trying to work on myself and I'm trying to just grow and just kind of leave the past in the back. So how you say it, leave the past behind me and just not worry about anything anymore and just kind of move forward. And I feel like the more I get questions about it, I feel like it's kind of okay, well, when am I going to talk about it? When am I going to talk about it? When am I finally going to say what was going on, as opposed to never sharing it and never talking about it again. And it's going to bother me hearing you guys always asking me are you ever going to say anything, So I'd rather just let it all out, talk to you guys about everything that happened, really fill you guys in on what was going on, and just hopefully move forward, close this chapter of my life, never talk about it again, and just continue to do what I'm doing right now. And that's just being open and communicating with you guys and really letting you guys know what's happening in the moment that it's happening, instead of me just holding everything in like I usually do. But this is going to be a little bit of a long video, so get comfortable because I don't want to leave anything out, and I hope that I can share everything and just kind of not miss anything, because sometimes when I'm in the moment and I'm talking, I don't realize that I missed something, and then when I go back I'm like, shit, I should have fucking said this too. So hopefully I don't miss anything, and hopefully I don't die in my car because it's hot as fuck. But anyways, so I'm also just in a better peace of mind. I feel like now I can talk about it openly without crying and without being sad and scared or anything like that. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm not serious about this anymore, just because I feel like I'm finally in a point where I can talk about it and I'm okay, but yeah, all of this, obviously you guys are not new to the harassing that happens on social media. I feel like honestly within the past 3 years, I feel like it's gotten worse, not just for myself but just everybody in social media in general. Whether you're a TikToker, YouTuber, a model on Instagram, or whatever you are, I just feel like the bullying and the harassing has been so bad lately, and it's honestly just so sad. Even myself, when I see other people getting dragged or getting talked about, or the things that I read, sometimes I'm just like if I was that person reading these messages, like I would be devastated, you know? So I feel like we all need to kind of get into a point where we're just a little nicer to each other. And I'm all about holding people accountable about mistakes that are being made or things that are being done, and I'm all for, you know, calling people out. But the extent of the bullying and how much, like, how people make fun of people and like start talking about their appearance and start talking about their families and start talking about like just things that don't even correlate to the actual incident that may have happened is just mind-blowing to me. That there's just so many people on the internet that think that we're human shields and nothing affects us, you know? And I definitely feel like I'm in a stage where I just feel like I'm trying to just be in the moment, you know? Like I don't try to like do things that's gonna make me look a certain way. Like I just live in the moment and I'm just worried about my life, you know? So we're not, you know, far too familiar from what's happening, right? So you guys are well aware of what's going on social media. I'm well aware of what's going on social media. Everybody's well aware about what's going on social media, and it's just a bunch of toxicities, right? So mind you, the whole situation that started happening with me and the things that I was dealing with were very behind closed doors. It was not happening so openly as it's happening now. So it was a lot for me to handle by myself because people never understood what I was going through. Like sometimes when I meet people and I'm like, yeah, like people are always like coming after me on social media, so they're like, really? It seems like everybody like, you know, really like fucks with you on social media and stuff. And I'm like, no, like you guys have no idea how the stuff that I deal with. So I feel like it was important for me to just add that part in there because it was something that wasn't normal a couple of years ago that I was dealing with. So the whole harassing and stalking and bullying and everything that was going on with me on social media happened about 4 years ago. I want to say 4 years ago. It was when I first moved into my house right after I got married with Ulises out of my apartment. So Ulises and I are going to be 5 years married this year. So we had an apartment for 7 months. And then after we moved out of our apartment, we moved into a house. So we were renting that house for 2 years. And that house, is probably where I spent most of my growth and my time and me being a mom and me being a married, a housewife, all that stuff. I honestly shared some of the most amazing memories in that house, and it was so close to my mom's house. I used to walk to my mom's house every day. We were neighbors. So it was a nice place, and it's truly what how do I say it? It was just honestly some of the best times of my life that I spent in that home, but also some of the worst times that I spent in my life. So when I moved, that's when I started getting a lot of the harassing, and it started very light. Like it started very small. People would just kind of message me like, you know, like little stuff here and there, like things that I wasn't concerned about, you know, like things that I wasn't really like worried about. It started getting aggressive when they started texting me my address. So they started sending me my address and they started telling me that I lived on so-and-so, you know, lane, and that they were gonna come by and that I needed to get my ass beat. Like it started getting worse when they started threatening me, you know? So they started just kind of like doing weird stuff. Like I can tell you a few incidents of things that were happening. So this was also like the party house because I wasn't a mom yet. So I had just gotten married, you know, so we were always having friends over, always like, you know, gatherings and stuff like that. So I would have people over and, you know, we were drunk, we were out, we were partying, stuff like that. There was a specific incident where one of my very good friends was actually outside and he was drunk. It was like 3 a.m. and he was on the phone. So he was on the phone talking and doing something. I don't know what he was talking about. But the next morning I woke up to a bunch of messages on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter. I confused TikTok with Twitter, on Twitter, and a bunch of messages were like, you should really tell your friend not to be staying up late at night because something bad could happen. Like I would get messages like that and I'd be like, what the hell? And then I was like, dude, were you outside? And then he was like, yeah. And I was like, what were you doing? He's like, I was just on the phone. And then I was like, oh my God, like they started sending me messages that like they were watching me, you know? So not me specifically, but like my house and stuff. So I I've always had cameras all around my house. Like I've always had a security system. So I went back to the time that he was on his phone, and then I was like, you know, looking at the camera footage to see if anything was suspicious or anything like that. So I did notice that there was a car that started passing by my house. So this specific car would pass by every single day. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just somebody that lives here. I was like, there's no way that this person could be just passing by every day as a normal day. Like they have to live here. So I started like getting a little trustworthy of even my neighbors. Like I was just kind of like, okay, which one of my neighbors is watching me, or somebody's seeing something, or like what's going on. So I am the most paranoid person in the entire planet, guys. Like I am so fucking paranoid. I am so scared of life in general because my mom instilled this like trauma in my life where I just feel like I'm scared. Like for everything was like, Blanca, no hagas esto, porque te vas a pasar esto. Blanca, no hagas esto. Blanca, no hagas esto. No hagas esto. Like I grew up so scared, and I grew up in one of the most unsafe like cities in the world. Okay, like unless you're from Stockton, you don't know. Like I hate when people tell me like they know what it's like to live in Stockton. Like Stockton, California is home for me, but Stockton is one of the most dangerous cities next to Oakland and next to, you know, Chicago, Illinois, and people are getting murdered. For the population that we have in Stockton, California, people get murdered every day. It's a lot of gang violence, a lot. It's just a lot. Like I used to go to sleep at night to gunshots every night. Like I used to live in the most like dangerous streets. Like I grew up like in the hood. Like I grew up literally in the hood. Like I have stories of like fucking stray bullets and fucking just like gunshots every night. And it's you grow up and that's like normal to you. You just grow up thinking like okay, well this is it's normal, you know. I'm gonna go to sleep and, you know, like ambulances are passing by and, you know, cops are going by and another person got shot, another person got murdered. And it's like you grow into this very just scared mentality, and I'm like that still till this day. Like if you guys were in my circle, people who are my friends will tell you that I stop myself from going out to so many places because I'm always so scared. And it's annoying. Like it's annoying to me that I'm like this because like my friends, they don't care. Like they want to go have fun, they want to be at clubs, they want to be, and I'm that vigilant person that's just like watching their surroundings, making sure that nobody's trying to like do something, like making sure a fight's not going to break out and somebody's going to get shot. Like I'm constantly thinking about those things, and now that I'm a mom, it's like 100 times worse. So mind you, all of this is happening in my house, and I'm just thinking like why me, you know? And like I would stop myself so much from posting anything on social media. Like if I bought something new, or if I, you know, like I didn't try to buy like the most expensive car, like I never wanted to stand out in my city. Like I wanted to make sure that I blend in, and that was it. Like I was never out here to do anything more than just live my life and provide for my family. You guys already know that there's only one goal in my life, and that has been to provide for my family. And I feel like that's every Hispanic, you know, in their culture. You know, we want to live the American dream, and that is to provide and give back to our parents. You know, they moved from, you know, they leave their families behind to provide a better future for for their children. And now it's our turn to, you know, make something out of that. Like I'm not just gonna be here on my ass and just doing nothing when my mom and dad sacrificed their whole life to bring us out here to be better and do better. And whether you agree with all that or not, whether you agree that my job is different than, you know, somebody else, like I'm not a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that, but I know my parents are still proud of me, and they're happy for what I've built. And whether you agree with that or not, because I know that people don't have a lot of respect for social media influencers, and that's fine. Like I don't need you guys to respect me, but I want you guys to know that I work hard every day for what I have and for what I've built. You know, it doesn't, not anybody can just go from, you know, from like 0 followers to the amount of followers and people that just want to be a part of your growth. You know, it's so hard to build something like that. And you guys know I've been at this for years. Like I started at literally 0. Okay, so I've had a hard time like just, you know, trusting people around me, and like I never knew, like anytime a new person would come into our circle, it was just kind of like, well, who is she and why is she here, and like what is she gonna say after she leaves, or what is she, you know what I mean? Like it was always just constant paranoia of who's in my life and who's not in my life, and like what are they gonna say, or what are they gonna think, or I let them into my home and now I'm getting all of these harassments. Like I literally trusted nobody. Like nobody, like everybody was an enemy at this point, because I felt like it was somebody in my circle that was doing this, you know? And at first it was just really hard because they weren't picking specific people. Like everybody was getting bullied at this point, you know? So then I was like, okay, so it can't be somebody inside my circle. It has to be maybe somebody that knows somebody from my circle and is letting them know that we're doing this or we're doing that. I got to a point where I wasn't even posting on social media at all. I wasn't even posting that I was like having friends over, because I didn't want to let anybody know that there was something going on in my house and then making them. But I started noticing this car passing by every single day. So I started zooming in to like the license plate, trying to see how much information I could get. I have family and friends who are actually in like the police department in Stockton. So I was like, if I get this license plate, I might be able to get some information and just figure out what's going on. But because of the angles that sometimes the cameras are in, you don't really get good footage. So that's when I was like, I need to invest in better equipment, because this is just not happening, you know? So we bumped up our security system, and at this point all I'm thinking about is like, is somebody gonna come and do something? Because threats are happening and now they're threatening me. Okay, so now people are coming after me, and it got 100 times worse after I became a mom. So then after I became a mom, I got pregnant. I announced that I was pregnant and that I was, you know, having a baby, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know what it is about social media and people being pregnant and why it causes just so much commotion of pregnancy. But my pregnancy with Max was probably where I started getting the most reaction. Like more people were watching me, more people were, you know, like excited for me, they were happy for me. But it also attracted a lot of negative energy, because people were now watching everything that I was doing, you know? So, you know, that happened with my pregnancy with Max, and I was getting a lot of like, you know, messages here and there, but it wasn't that bad. And I keep saying it wasn't that bad because I dealt with it. I was just dealing with it, guys. I was just dealing with the hate. I was just dealing with the threats. I was dealing with, you know, people telling me that I was this and I was that. And I was just like, okay, they're just haters. They're just haters. They're texting me late at night and telling me that they're going to come to my house and that they're going to meet me here and that they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And I'm just like, okay, well, if they wanted to do it, they would have done it already, because I am at home, you know, I'm at home 24/7. So it's like, now they're just kind of just trying to scare me. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm not seeing anything, I'm not hearing anything, and I'm just gonna pretend like it's not happening. So it kind of stopped for a little while, and like I said, I would go through waves where it was like really bad, and then it would get like kind of normal, and then it would get really bad again, and then it was like kind of normal. So it was just very up and down, you know? So it got the absolute worst when I gave birth to Max and I got pregnant with Camila. So this transition of mom shaming and hate that I was just getting on the internet already, and on top of that, the harassment that I was getting from my own like house, like the city that I was living in, went from you're a horrible mother, like you don't deserve to have a child, you're like, you should, like, your baby should die. Like the things that I was hearing, guys, like people were coming at Max, like telling me that Max was like an ugly little baby, that he looked like an alien, that like just some fucked up shit that you just don't say about people's children, you know what I mean? Like you don't say things, even if you think it, like just don't say it. Like mind your business, you know what I mean? Like don't come after people's children. Like you guys can call me ugly, call me fucking like everything, call me every name in the book, I've already heard it. Do not come after my children, okay? Because that's where we cross the line. Like, do not talk about people's children. Like, I don't care how much you hate somebody, do not talk about their children. Do not talk about them and how they're developing and how they're not doing this and they're not doing that. Like, mind your own business, okay? Like, this has nothing to do with you. You are not raising this child, you are not feeding this child, you did not birth this child, so shut the fuck up, you know? So to me, I was just at this point where I was just like, I'm so fucking annoyed that people are just coming after my son and talking so much shit talking so much crap about him, and I'm just trying to pretend like everything is fine. You know what I mean? And I feel like maybe this is where that transition happened, where people were like, oh, she's changing. She thinks she's better than other people. She thinks her life is so perfect. And I feel like I had to pretend like my life was so perfect, so people wouldn't have anything to talk about. So people wouldn't have to sit there and like find something wrong. But I feel like I made it worse because they were a huevo trying to find the wrong thing. So this picture perfect thing could just fall apart. You know what I mean? And my life's not perfect. My life has never been perfect. It's not a perfect picture, but I'm content with my life. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with my husband. I'm happy with my children. I'm happy with my home. I have everything that I could have ever imagined in my life. And that's it. You know what I mean? But in no shape, way, or form does that make me any better than anybody else. It just makes me understand and feel happy that I am blessed. You know, there's not very many people, but also don't get that confused because I came from nothing, you know? So I know how to appreciate my blessings. Like, you guys don't have to make me appreciate that. Like, I already know what I need to appreciate. I can tell you guys, my mom and dad, they know that they raised such an amazing, hardworking person that if somebody was to tell them like, how is your daughter? Like, they will literally speak volumes of me because I've made them that proud. You know what I mean? And this is when I've shifted into transitions where I'm just kind of like, I should not care about other people's opinions because they are not my family. They are not my circle. They are not people who matter to me, because the people who really value me as a person are the people who are close to me. So I'm trying to deal with all of this hate at this point, okay? So I'm just trying to pretend like I'm fine. I'm trying to pretend like I'm okay, trying to pretend like everything's going on. And I'm pregnant at this point with Camila. And mind you, Camila's pregnancy was not planned, okay? It was not planned. It kind of just hit us out of nowhere. And, you know, we made the best that we could out of what after what happened, you know what I mean? I was not ready to be mom again. And people are already telling me that I'm a horrible mother. And like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many emotions that were going on and like about everything that was happening, and it was just horrible. Okay, so I'm pregnant with Camila, and after me being pregnant with Camila, the threats got worse. It was like, you don't deserve to be a mom. I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your baby inside of your stomach. Like, this baby doesn't deserve to live because they're gonna live with you as a mother. Like, those things, and they're so installed in my head because like I've listened to them over and over and over and over and over again so many times that I'm just like, how do you as a human being like say something like that to another person? Like, another person, like those things, like that's just so hurtful to me that I'm just like, how do you even say that? Like, it's crazy to me how people love to judge people, but they're twice, 3 times as bad as this person, because I would never do that to anybody. Like, I have sympathy for what people are going through, and you never know what someone's going through. And it's like, for somebody to just constantly say these things to these people. I've had CPS called on me twice, okay? They called CPS on me twice because apparently I'm an unfit mother. And this is all while I'm pregnant with Camila. I'm an unfit mother. And I have a friend of mine who works in, you know, child protective service. She's a social worker. And when all of this was happening, I called her and I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening to me right now. Like, I cannot believe that, like, people are going to the extent to try to make me look like a horrible mother because I'm, you know, parenting differently, or I may have done something that people might have not agreed with, or whatever the case, you know? Like, they were telling me that they wish that my babies got taken away from me. Like, there's literally women out there abusing emotionally, physically, mentally their children. They're drug addicts, and you know how hard it is to even remove children like that from their families. And you guys are worried about me being an unfit mother when my children are literally everything, and everything that I have ever done for my kids, everything that I've ever done in life is for this very moment, and it's for my children and for my family, you know? So it's like, I was dealing with so much fucking bullshit, guys, like so much bullshit. And there I am on Instagram posting for a fucking Instagram selfie, posting for an outfit of the day, posting for videos, and pretending like I was the happiest in life, you know what I mean? And this is what I mean when I say that not everything is how it looks on social media. And I didn't open up with you guys about it, not because I didn't want you guys to see that side of me, but because I was genuinely scared. I felt like if I said too much, or if I did too much, it was just going to cause more attention. It was going to cause more hate. It was going to cause more backlash. It was going to make situations worse. And I was scared. I was genuinely so fucking scared for my life that I was just like, I can't do this, you know? Yvette was living with me at the time, and I was getting harassed. I was getting pictures taken of me outside of my house. I was getting followed. I was out at the stores and people were replying to me and saying like, oh, did you like the Garnier shampoo that you purchased? Or did you like, I was getting messages like people were literally stalking me. Like people were stalking me every single way of my life. Like everything. They knew everything about me before I knew about me. Like it was so scary to me that somebody was so invested in my life and ruining my life and wanting me like to fucking like, I don't know, they were wishing the worst on me. And it was just so sad. And I didn't even tell my parents or anything. Like I never talked to like anybody. Honestly, like if any of my family members are watching this video, like it's all going to be kind of new to them because I never opened up about those things, because my mom and dad, they're super like, how do I even say it? They're very like, not so much my dad. My dad is always like, do what makes you happy, do what's like, not everybody's gonna be your friend, like you go be happy, you make people like see what you're capable of. Like he's very like, go do, follow your dreams, but understand that not everybody's gonna be happy for you. My mom is very like, why are you doing that? Like no hagas eso porque va a pasar esto, like you're causing too much attention, you're causing this, you're like, she's very scared just like I am. And I feel like that's why I kind of got that from her. But I never told anything to anybody. It was just my sister. My sister was the only one that knew. It was two of my sisters that knew, and then my brother eventually found out, and kind of like my closer family, but like farther family and stuff like my mom and dad, they never really knew the extent. When we moved and we sold our house, that's kind of when they knew that it was serious and something was happening, you know? So yeah, I was dealing with all of that, all of the toxic stuff, and like I said, just to make long story short, it was constant. It was every day. Every day was like a new picture. Every day was a new person following, a new person walking up to my driveway, my camera detecting somebody trying to fucking open my door, like constant fear. Imagine living in fear, and on top of that being pregnant. Like I feel like pregnancy should be one of the most beautiful times of your life, and you're already dealing with so much as a pregnant woman, and on top of that having to deal with all of this fear. Like that's why I feel like Camila is like such a little like grouchy pants, because I was just so angry my whole pregnancy. Like I was just so mad. I was just so like, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I stopped talking to so many of my friends. Like I just stopped like hanging out with people. I stopped like being around people. I just really pushed everybody away because I just didn't want to be around, how do I even explain this? I didn't want to be around people, and I didn't want them to be around what I was going through, because I know that there was, even though they didn't care and like they were just kind of like, it's fine, like I know that they cared to a certain extent, and I didn't want to involve them in my bullshit, like in what was going on with me. Like a lot of my friends, they're not on social media, so like to them it's kind of new, you know, like why are they talking to me like this? Why are they going after my life? Like I just oh my god, like I remember Karina, I don't know how many times she was crying to me every day because people were just so fucking mean to her. And like I felt like I had to be like the strong person, you know, the person that had to just kind of calm everybody down and like it's fine, it's gonna be okay. And it's like I didn't want to get emotional because I'm over all of this like BS, you know, but it's just talking about it again, it's just so fucking annoying. But let me get myself together so I can like regroup my thoughts. Okay, so I really didn't want to like get emotional again, but it's just so fucking like, it like heats me, you know, like it heats me that like people are just so fucking mean. But yeah, so then I'm getting close to like giving birth to Camila, and the hate started. Like, oh, she doesn't want a daughter, like she hates her daughter, like she's so mad that it wasn't another boy, and Max is her favorite, and like she's so this, all because all I said was I thought I was gonna be a boy mom. All I said was I thought I was gonna be a boy mom, and everybody assumed that I was pissed off that I was gonna have a daughter, you know. And when deep down inside, I feel like I just kept telling myself it was going to be a boy, so I wasn't disappointed. Like, I just kind of kept like, okay, it's gonna be a boy, it's gonna be a boy. So that way, if it was a boy, I was like, okay, well, I knew it, as opposed to like me being like, oh my god, I would have really loved a daughter and I didn't get a daughter, you know. So it's like, I would have been happy whether it would have been a boy, whether it would have been a girl. And it's okay for you to feel like, oh, okay, like I wonder what it would have been like if I would have been a boy mom or a girl mom. Like, those feelings are okay. I was so happy when I found out that I was having a daughter. I was jumping in air. My mom was thanking me like up and down. She was so happy that I was having a daughter, and it was one of the happiest moments of my life. But then there we go, social media wanting to make you feel like what you're doing is wrong and what you're feeling is wrong and this and that, and how, you know, I never deserved to be a mom, you know. So that was the whole incident that was happening with Camila, and, you know, me just getting so much backlash. And then when she was born, you know, it still continued, you know. But the incident that drove us to move on and sell our house, so when we purchased our new home, I actually said on social media that we were going to be moving 20 minutes away. And I said that we were moving 20 minutes away because I didn't want anybody to know that I actually only moved a few blocks away, because I was trying to trick whoever was stalking me into thinking that I was leaving Stockton. And it worked for a little bit. It worked for a while. Nobody knew where I lived. I wasn't posting anything. And then my address got exposed. And I know a lot of people like to blame me and say that it was my fault because I did a drone shot of my house, but this was after my house address was already exposed. This was after the people that were harassing me had already posted all over the internet that I lived in this area. So no, I didn't expose my address, and no, I didn't do anything to help these people. They just found it. And at this point, I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna live my life in fear. Like, what the fuck ever. Like, do whatever you guys want, you know? Like, I can't constantly win. You cannot win with the internet. So my address got exposed, and all the bullying started. Like, you're a fucking liar, you're a fucking walking contradiction, you just love to make yourself look like you're so perfect, like, just say that you live in Stockton. Like, why do you care about people living? Like, I have been the most proud person. Like, I am always like, I come from Stockton, I live in Stockton. Like, I fucking repped my city like no other. I was so proud of coming from the town that I came from. I never was ashamed. I've never been ashamed of where I've come from. Like, I am an open book with you guys. Like, I have always shared everything with you guys. If I wanted to not let you guys know that I lived in Stockton, I would have told you. I would have left a long time ago. I was down to raise my children in Stockton. I was down to make a life there. Like, that was the goal. That was the main goal, to live there and build a future there. And everybody wanted to make it seem like I was ashamed, you know, because I said that I lived 20 minutes away, and that was just because I didn't want anybody to find me again. So my address got exposed, and then the bullying started all over again. And this time it was aggressive. It was really aggressive. And I hired security 24 hours a day to be at my house and watch every car that was driving through my driveway. Okay, so I know to a lot of people that's like, well, oh, she thinks she's fucking Kardashian. She thinks she's so important. She thinks that this. No, you don't have to be an important person to feel unsafe. Like, people hate you, you know? Like, I had to put that into my head. Like, people hate you, and they're not happy for you, and they're not happy for whatever reason that you're doing something that they don't like. And yeah, I felt like I needed to be with someone 24/7 of my life. And it was draining. It was so exhausting. It was so tiring to just sit there and be scared every day of my life. Okay. And I was getting just Instagram picture after Instagram picture of my house, of my like outside of Yvette going out to eat, and my family going out to eat, and my dad and my mom. And like, now everybody was just getting involved. Okay. And like, everybody was getting dragged, and people were talking shit about my mom, and people were talking shit about my dad, and people were talking shit about my family, and it was just so much. And I was just so pregnant, you know? And I just felt unsafe. I would run from my car. Like, you know that moment when you're a mom, right? And you're scared and you have to unbuckle your kid from the car seat. Like, I literally would lock my car and I would unbuckle Max while I was in the car, and I would grab Max, I would have him holding me, I would unlock my car and I would run to my house and I would get inside my house. Like, that's how scared I was. Or me have to call Ulises to come outside to grab me because I didn't want to be alone for too long, because somebody was gonna take a picture of me and then send it to me later and be like, oh, like, nice skirt you were wearing today, you know? Like, it was just so bad. So I decided to throw a party at my house. It was a barbecue, and I was having the very first party that I've had since moving into that house. I invited all my friends. You guys probably remember, I won't say too much detail about it, but you guys probably remember, everybody was in the pool, we were taking shots, we were drinking, everybody was getting drunk, and I was pregnant, so obviously I wasn't in the vibe. I was sober, and I was in the pool and I was snapping. I was posting on Snapchat, and I posted a snap of me and Max. And I don't know what hurts me more, the fact that people just want me dead, or the fact that nobody cared that my son was outside with me. And I was in the pool and I was snapping. Like I said, I was with everybody. I think Miguel was next to me, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know who was on my side, and we were snapping, and I was posting Max, and Max's little feet was in the water. Max was only like 7 months or so, and he has his little feet in the water, and we're just, you know, having a good time while everybody's getting drunk. They're all into the jacuzzi and they're all having the time of their lives. Like, you know, it was a moment. And somebody passed by my house and did a drive-by. And I feel like at that moment, I don't think it felt real. Like, like I said, I'm so used to like gunshots and, you know, like living in the city that I live in, that I feel like I was just kind of like, wait a minute. And it happened in my backyard, so it kind of like reflected off the gate, because there was a big gate in the back of my house, and it's made out of like cement. So one of my good friends, her name is Lydia, and you guys have seen her on my social media. She was sober with me because she doesn't drink. So Ulises was upstairs, everybody was in the pool, and I was with Max. I had Max in my arms, and I hear the gunshots happen, and my instinct is just to grab Max and run to my house, ducked, and we're all kind of like, what the fuck just happened? And I feel like everybody else was too drunk to comprehend what was happening, but me being sober and my friend Lydia being sober, she's used to being around guns, and I just remember me asking her, like, please tell me those were fireworks. You know, please tell me that they were fireworks, that somebody threw a firework by my house and it just reflected. Like, just tell me that that's what happened. And she was like, no. She's like, those were gunshots. She's like, I felt like I just wanted her to tell me that they weren't gunshots so I could feel better about myself and just be like, okay, like, we're okay, you know? And no, they weren't, you know? So then I was waiting for a message to happen. Like, I was waiting for a message to just come in and be like, something, for them to just say something to me so I could confirm that it was them, the people that were stalking me over and over again. Like, I just needed that confirmation. And I never got a text, okay? I never got a fucking text message. I never got anything. And I just remember, like, me being so upset because you feel so helpless. Like, you feel like you just can't do anything. And Ulises, you know, comes downstairs and he's like, what happened? And I was like fucking bawling. I was like trying to figure out how somebody would even do something like that. I had just posted a snap that my son was outside with me, and for somebody to do something like that. And my neighborhood, it's a quiet neighborhood. Like, I lived in one of the nicest areas in Stockton, and things like that don't just happen, you know? Like, that was what was crazy to me, that I couldn't believe it, you know? So he comes downstairs and I just go upstairs with Max. I just remember me laying in bed and me holding him and me being pregnant and just wondering, like, is this gonna be my life forever? Like, I feel like that whole night I just kind of contemplated my whole life, and I just sat there like, is this worth it? Is this life on social media really worth it? Like what am I doing? You know, like, what am I doing with myself? What am I doing for my kids? What am I doing? Like, what am I doing here? Like, I was just trying to figure out what was the result of that. And you know, that happened. So then that next morning I text my realtor and I put the house for sale. And it was a very irresponsible thing for me to say so openly, because I didn't even talk to Ulises about it. And I will tell you guys straight up, I didn't even talk to Ulises about it. I just was like, I'm putting the house for sale. Like, I didn't even tell Ulises anything. I just woke up one morning and I was like, we're selling this house. So we didn't move out until 4 months after my house was sold, because well, I'll jump into that. But I told Ulises, I was like, so I text Julian's my realtor. I text Julian and I put the house for sale. And I told Ulises, so we're moving and I know your business is here. You can come visit. Like, I literally told him, like, you can come visit me if you want, but I am leaving with the kids and I'm fucking moving to Antarctica. Like, I was like, I am moving far the fuck away from here. Like, I am leaving far, far, far. And I know that a lot of people were like, why didn't you just move to another place, a gated community, or like somewhere nearby? And it was somebody in my hometown. It was somebody near my hometown. It was somebody driving distance from me that could find me anywhere. I know that they could have found me anywhere, you know? So I feel like I just needed to go somewhere where it was, I guess, more normal to be on social media, because in my city, everybody knew that I was on social media and that was it. You know, so I feel like my idea was Southern California for a reason, because it was normal, you know, and everybody was like, why are you telling people where you're moving to? And I'm like, Southern California is so diverse, it's so huge, it's so big. It's such a big area that there's just no way that if I'm on social media, I could hide that. You know, like, people were gonna find out no matter what. But it was about me just leaving where I was at and feeling safe. And let me tell you guys that I feel the most safe I have ever felt in my entire life. Now, where I'm at, where I live, what protection I have, what security systems I have, like, this is stuff that you can't avoid, unfortunately. And at that very moment, I felt like I was the only one. I felt like I was the only person being harassed. And this is when I was really thinking, like, I don't want to do social media anymore. This isn't worth it. This isn't worth it to me. And then I talked to a bunch of my social media friends, only to come out to find out that they've dealt with the exact same thing. People breaking into their houses and them not talking about it. People sending them stuff and threatening them and sending them letters and telling them they're gonna come and kill them, and them actually physically showing up to try to hurt them. Like, there's so many influencers that you guys don't know about, that you guys don't know that they've gone through this, and they've all, you know, been nice enough to open up to me and let me know about their experiences and letting me feel like I'm not alone. When I posted that first video of me and Ulises moving, I got so many messages from so many influencers that were like, I know exactly what you're going through and you're okay. You know, you're gonna be fine, and this is just something you just have to learn to live with if this is what you're doing, you know? So I decided to move to a bigger city and just kind of give myself more privacy and feel a little bit more secluded, as opposed to such a small town like Stockton where I lived, you know? And it was honestly just that. Like, it was just that, me just trying to make a move to better the circumstances that I was in, you know? And, you know, before this whole thing happened, like, you guys remember me telling you guys about my bank account being exploited. So, like, you guys know, I used to work at the bank and I had all my banking with a specific bank. And I had all of my business accounts with them, and all of that got exposed. It was all over the internet. Thankfully, thankfully my management team was able to remove everything like as quickly as possible. But my bank account information was posted, how much money I had in the bank, all the brand deals, how much they paid me, like everything was exposed. Everything. You think brands want to know, like want their stuff on the internet? Like, we paid Evettexo so-and-so money. Like I was thinking like everybody was gonna fucking drop me for my deals and I was going to just like lose everything in a moment of a second. And everything got exposed, you know? So everything like thankfully was like removed from the internet, and I'm dealing with a whole, that's when I told you guys that I was dealing with the lawsuit. I am still dealing with the settlement that's happening on the on that aspect of the banking incident, because I did have to file a lawsuit against what happened and my information being exploited. So I wasn't really able to tell you guys much information, but police reports, thousands, you know, trauma will forever haunt me. And I'm happy that like where I'm at in life now, I am just so aware. I'm very vigilant of what's happening around me. I am just here to do nothing but provide for my family, be happy, and understand that I am here for a reason. Like, I am here for a reason, and I'm going to take advantage of every single opportunity that is thrown at me, and I am not going to allow somebody to take everything from me. Everything that I have worked my ass off for, I deserve everything that I have in my life, because I have worked for every single thing that I have in my life. And I'm not going to allow fear to jeopardize that. You know, I did what I felt was right for my family, and that's what it was. I didn't change. I didn't move to LA and get a BBL to fit in with all the influencers. I didn't go and do this because I wanted to get more clout and be popular. We all know I don't give a fuck about clout. Okay? Like, I am happy with my what I've built. You know, like, I am happy. I did that by myself. I didn't have to suck anybody's titty to get anywhere. Okay? Like, I am proud of that. And take it how you want to take it. You guys can continue to think that I feel like I'm better than everybody else, but I'm just fucking proud of myself. I'm proud of me. And I'm proud that I did things the right way, and that I did things the way that things were supposed to happen for me, and that I didn't have to sit there and use people or abuse people or be mean to people to get to where I'm at. I know that I have a purpose, and I'm slowly finding that purpose in life. And right now, all I'm trying to do is be the best mom that I can be, and be the best person that I can be for myself and my family, and that's it. Everything else is just noise. Everything else in the background is just noise, and nothing is going to stop me to get to where I'm trying to be in life. And I'm just happy that I can finally openly say this. This is a long ass video, but I feel like it had to be said. And I'm just happy with where I'm at in life. And if you're a supporter of mine who genuinely cares about me, and I'm talking about genuinely cares about me because I know there's so many of you guys, because while I was going through all of this, I had a meet and greet. I had a meet and greet in my hometown, and I was so fucking scared because I didn't want to do one in my hometown because of how scared I was. And I met 4,000 girls that day. 4,000 girls showed up in line to come and see me. And that feeling, nobody can ever take that away from me. That feeling of like people who support me and love my family and genuinely enjoy my content and enjoy what I put out, that's what fills my heart. That's what keeps me continuing to live this social media life, this dream, this thing that we all are still trying to understand. And meeting you guys obviously made me realize why I do what I do and why I love what I do. All my seminars always reminded me all of that stuff. You guys are the real reason, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys are here and you guys are genuinely here because you guys love me and support me, you guys are not here just for the cheeseman and actually care about me, I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate what we've built together, because I wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and finally let that out and just let it be known, let it be heard, let it be said. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I would appreciate it if nobody messages me anymore. If you guys see a comment of somebody saying like, if am I ever gonna talk about it, send them the link to my video. I honestly just want it to just come out, let you guys know why I'm here, why I'm still fucking pushing through. And this is literally the end of this chapter, like this conversation. I don't want to ever think about it again. I don't want to ever talk about it again. I want it to just be done. I feel like I owed you guys at least that much to share with you guys what was happening. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Love you guys.